We have completed the first page of Salvador and we'll go to the second page. First page, what we have seen, the general description of young Salvador and his lifestyle. A reckless young man, but inside that reckless man, there is a soft heart, as soft as the petals of rose. So this video will go through those lines, each and every line, and we'll try to sort out all the points. In finding doubt, as I told you before, you can contact me in any time, and further in live class we can solve our doubts. So go through the second page of Salvador.
Boys in those southern parts grow apace very fast. In little while he was madly in love with a pretty girl who lived on the Grand Marina. She had eyes like forest wool and held herself like a daughter of Caesar. She was too proudy, maybe due to her beauty or something else. She was too proudy, and it seems that she behaves like she was the daughter of Julius Caesar. They were affianced, that means they were engaged, but they could not marry. They could not marry till Salvatore had done his military service. So, here you have to keep it in mind, they were affianced. You have to keep it in mind, they were affianced. Now, they could have married, but Salvatore was too young to marry. Had done his military service, and when he left the island which he had never left in his life before to become a sailor in the navy of King Victor Emmanuel, kindly underline this one. He wept like a child. It was hard for one who had never been less free than the birds to be at the beck and call of others. So he had always been free, a reckless young soul. So for him it is very difficult to leave the freedom and join a service which meant to be discipline. He wept like a child. It was hard for one who had been less free than the birds to be at the beck and call of others. It was harder still to live in a battleship with stranger instead of in a little white cottage among the vines. And when he was ashore means he was in the seashore. Just a minute. To walk in noisy, friendless cities with streets so crowded that he frightened to cross them, when he had been used to silent paths and mountains at the sea. So you can easily understand this is totally a different world for him that he had never imagined of. Because he is a man who used to rule the entire scenario, the mountains, the hills, the water bodies, the seas, and the vineyards. Now he is ruled. He is ruled by this cruel world. No one has time to talk to him. And after leaving home, when he went outside and he started finding these different type of places, crowded places, he became afraid. I suppose he had never struck him that Ischia, which he looked at every evening to see what the weather could be like next day, or Vesuvius, fairly in the dawn, had anything to do with him at all. When he ceased to have them, that means stopped to have them before his eyes, he realized in some dim fashion they were as much part of him as his hands and his feet. When he was at home, he hardly understood the beauty of all those natural surroundings, but later he understood those were as connected to him as his figures, as the organs of his body. He was dreadfully homesick, but it was the hardest of all to be parted from the girl he loved. So, the most difficult thing for him to leave that very girl whom he loved so dearly. With all his passionate young heart, he wrote to her in childish handwriting long, ill spelled letter in here and there, to Spezia, to Venice, to Bern, and finally to China. So every time he used to write her with very poor handwriting, with hardly any grammar and hardly any rhetoric in it. Here he fell ill and some mysterious ailment that kept him in hospital for months. He bore it with the mute and uncomprehending patience of a dog. He did not show any kind of boredom or any kind of reaction to his disease. He silently accepted that disease. When he learned that it was a form of rheumatism that made him unfit for further service, his heart exalted. Instead of being sad, he became extremely happy, for he could go home. So, underline this part. When he understood that he was unfit for the service, instead of being sad, he became extremely happy. And he did not bother. In fact, he scarcely listened when the doctors told him that he would never again be quite well. What did he care when he was going back to the little island he loved so well, and the girl who was waiting for him? So, what was his main intention was to meet the lady of his love. So, he was exalted, he was extremely happy instead of being sad. So, here we can find a very peculiar and very strong affair and affection in Salvatore for the girl he loved. So here we got two part of this very uh, story. Part one deals with our Salvatore as a free man, as a free identity. While the second part, that means the part 2, that deals Salvatore as a caged bird. And what is the reason behind all this problem is Salvatore's love for that girl. And obviously Salvatore's sickness. Very important. It is very ironical. Instead of being sad, it made Salvatore happy. It's very ironical. Why? Here the most important thing that we have, the most important thing we have here, Salvatore's affair and homesickness. So this is the second part that we have completed today, and slowly we will progress. Okay, thank you.